TSR family, TSR show here. Got my boy Ant right next to me, and we got a special guest today. We got our boy Joe and Smurf over there behind the scenes. You know, he's over there looking for ACL surgery right now.
No, his shoulder.
Rotator cuff surgery. You know, he took a dive, but thank you guys again for joining us for another episode of the TSR show. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. But let's get this thing started. We back at it like a crack addict, baby. How y'all doing today?
Doing good, man.
Doing straight?
Yeah.
How you doing, Joe? Say what's up to the fam.
What's up, fam?
Hey, you know, so Joe, we started off with off the top.
I went off the top.
You having off the top?
No, I went off the top.
Oh yeah. Oh, he went off the top.
Coming off the top.
Catch me! So you got an off the top today, Joe?
I do. Let me start out by saying I'm the kind of guy that doesn't date a lot. I believe in quality over quantity.
Okay.
And let me just say, for the first time in a while, I finally have a girlfriend. So it's kind of awkward because every year I participate in things like March Madness, which is going on right now, fantasy football, things like that. And every year I usually do pretty good and do well.
Right.
This past year was the worst I've ever done in fantasy football. I had 3 different leagues, missed playoffs in all 3 leagues. So
And because you got your lady though.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing.
No.
You know, right? So it didn't really hurt as much, right? Like if you were trying.
I don't know. It would have been nice to win. I keep telling her like, hey babe, like what if I win and I buy you something? She's just like, get off your phone.
Yeah.
You got it.
All right. I had to quit.
Damn.
I had to quit fantasy for a few years. You know, just because same thing. I just didn't have that time. Smurf knows. He was like, "You're gonna do fantasy this year." I was like, "Nah, bro. I'm so busy right now. It's like I can't." But it's different. I have kids, so
Right. I think I'm gonna go down to 1 league instead of just 3.
yeah.
Because every year I'm doing a lot, like 3 or 4 leagues. you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of juggling.
So
bro.
that's a
Yeah.
lot. And knowing what your team is and knowing who's available and all
Who's
that.
your bye week and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
It took a lot of time, and now I just don't have that kind of time. Or, you know, if I'm always on my phone when I'm around my girl, you know, looks a little suspicious.
Hey, but you guys are happy.
Yeah.
Hey, that's trust though.
Yeah.
You gotta have trust. Like, what does she think? You're sliding into Juju Smith's DMs and shit?
Oh, I definitely am. Hey, Juju. I love you, Juju.
Corvette. Hey, yo, Ant, you got it off the top?
Yeah, I just got some teeth removed, and I gotta say it's probably the worst thing I've ever done in a long time. This killed me, bro. I woke up and it was just awful. So if you guys ever get your teeth pulled out, watch what you're doing, because they say this is the one I wanted to say was they say you act when you come out. They say you act the way you would if you were drunk. I was that guy. I was like going, I'm good, man. I'm good. You don't have to walk me to the car. I'm good. He's all, you gotta sit in the chair though. He's all, we can't let you walk. And I was like, I don't know what you're doing. And I kept on reaching and trying to get out of the wheelchair. And he kept on saying, you gotta sit in the wheelchair. So finally my mom was there, dude. She just turned around and goes, Anthony, sit down. And I just turned around. I just got in the car, and she said that when I sat in the car, I just slumped over and passed out.
And you were acting like you were drunk because you called me. When you're sober, I never hear from you. But when you're drunk,
Dude,
like, what's up, bro? I was like driving home. I'm like, hello?
Yeah, dude, I was out of it for like a good 12 hours, bro. It was crazy.
He's all like this. He's all, I'm just gonna watch this Justice League, bro, and fuck, bro, it hurts, bro, I'm gonna lie, bro.
And then Hector goes, yeah, when I went there, bro, I got mine pulled out. It was like 10 minutes, bro. I didn't even feel anything, and I'm just like going, eating my soup.
Because they were all popped out,
and this
dude,
guy
I
probably
swear.
had a carne asada taco and everything right after he walked in.
Nothing too hard. I didn't get stitches, nothing. I listened to one song of the Commodores, and he was like, all right, we're done. I was like, no stitches? And he's like, nah, clean. I was like, all right, cool. And I just walked out, no gas, no nothing, just Went home and watched the Snyder Cut. Let's see. My off the top is gonna be a little more sentimental, and it was just we got to stop trying to please others, man. You know, you can't please everybody, and this goes for everybody out there, man. Like, do the best you can do for whoever that person is, and if they're not satisfied with it, if they're not happy with it, man, like, don't put that on you, because we're all human beings. We all have lives. We all have things that we're working with, either physically, mentally, emotionally, and if those that say that care about you don't understand that, then they're really not meant for you. So don't try and run around and keep trying to please people, man. Like, that's just tough, man. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that is getting hurt through it. You know what I mean? So that was just my quick off the top. And yeah.
So what you're saying with your off the top is, hey man, tell your girlfriend to take a back seat.
Yeah. Basically, you know what I'm saying? I just came up with that one off his top, right off the top. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully she watches. No, just kidding.
Tell her like,
If you watch, baby, I love you.
Yeah. So we wanted to start off. First, I wanted to start off with LeBron getting hurt. Okay, he has a high ankle sprain. We don't know exactly the timeline. He did put out, a message to his teammates and saying, look, I feel bad. I'm not going to be there, and, I'm letting my teammates down.
Hashtag kid from Akron.
Yeah, hashtag kid from Akron. We also got Smurf behind the scenes. I forgot to mention that if I didn't. But does this hurt his chances of winning the MVP race?
definitely. It should. He's going to miss, depending on how many games.
Now, now if he comes back and they still make a good run,
He'd have to be a hell of a run. It's going to have to be a hell of a run for him to make it the MVP, to be honest. But if he comes back and he's slumping a little bit and he's not playing 100%,
yeah,
he's better off just taking off, get 100%, and then come back strong. He's going to have to do that.
You think...
Because he's really shooting for it this year. For some reason, I don't know, he feels slighted. I don't know. Somebody said the other day that, what did they say? Oh, he should have won 8 or 9 MVPs.
I think that was Kyle Kuzma, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, I think it was. He said that. So I was like, well, Jordan should have been an MVP every year too, but they can't do it all the time. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
Well, I think high ankle sprains are really hard to deal with. So let's say he does come back and he does perform and he's not up to standard, it's definitely going to hurt his MVP.
Yeah.
If he's missing games, it's going to hurt his MVP. It just doesn't matter. That happens to everybody in every sport. If they miss games, oh, well, so-and-so had this much points. So-and-so scored this much points. So-and-so did this. It's going to affect him if he's not on that level, at least not consistently. High ankle sprain, he could probably still play with that.
Yeah.
But who knows if he's going to be at the same level that he normally does play at.
Well, and then even if you play with it, playing sports, if you keep playing on that injury, it turns into you're hurt and then now you're injured.
Right.
You can play hurt, but can you play injured? And if you keep playing hurt, it kind of increases those chance of prolonged injury, as opposed to like how he was saying is like, take your time, get 110%, then come back, as opposed to trying to rush it, and it leads to something way more drastic than just a high ankle sprain. But also,
is you start leaning on it, so you're not taking the weight off of this one, so you start doing this one.
yeah, you're overcompensating. Your body overcompensates.
And then multiple things. It could be your hamstring. It could be a bunch of shit that you run into on that one.
MVPs don't win championships.
Right.
Lately. MVPs don't win. That's probably good news for the Lakers.
He's in pain.
Who's the last MVP to win the championship?
He's not moving for shit.
Who's the last MVP to win the championship?
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And before him, it was LeBron. But usually MVPs don't win championships. And also with that high ankle sprain, the way he plays is really, it puts a lot of significant pressure on his feet, the way he plays. He's not really a shooter.
Yeah.
He's really all athleticism.
And power.
And power. The way he drives the ball to the basket is ridiculous.
So, We'll see.
Did you
As
guys-
far as the MVP race, he was ahead because Joel Embiid got hurt. Embiid was first, but then he got hurt. So then LeBron is up there. Now he's hurt. So I think it's evened out.
Yeah.
Dame, baby. Dame time.
I keep hearing James Harden chatter.
No.
I don't like the James Harden chatter. If he was still with the Rockets, okay, and doing the same stuff. But it's hard for me to give an MVP when you're on a team like that.
Plus, it's
Because
hard.
like when Kyrie was out, him and KD were still fucking putting up numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you take one out, the team doesn't really hurt as much.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Embiid goes out for the Sixers, okay, that team's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
If a LeBron goes out, okay, that team's gonna hurt. Dame goes out, that team's definitely gonna get hurt.
Significantly, yeah.
Yeah, but a James Harden, I don't. If you're on like a super team, don't expect an MVP.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because with Steph, when he won it, I didn't mind that because that was like a homegrown talent.
Right.
That was a super team per se, but it was built like from the ground up from that. But to all just go to one team and sign there, I can't give you an MVP for that.
Like, now you're going off character, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, times have changed.
Now you're going off character. Now you see where I'm coming from.
What happened to a stick? What happened to a stick?
Oh, dude, it's nice.
It looks like you need it more than he does. Hey, call him back. That dentistry. Get him a wheelchair or something.
It's not my legs. You keep calling it my legs. It's my arm.
But bro, you're moving like.
I need an arm.
Look at his toe is shaking like he's nervous, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, but like as far as the NBA though too, a little bit on the March Madness, real quick. You saw a lot of upsets this week.
Yeah.
Ohio State goes down. UNC goes down. Texas goes down.
The number one seat, they never trailed. I think it was Illinois. It was one of them. Never trailed all season, dude. Led. Got upset.
Bro, and then the thing is you saw upsets from teams that was either their first time in the tournament or it was like their first win in the team in the school's history in an NCAA tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why
COVID really messes with you.
No, I think that's just an underdog mentality though.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to get it into was like you got to think about all these top tier teams that go into a March Madness, right? Every year we always think, oh, this is the best team on paper. They got the stars, right? But then there's something about the mentality of underdogs where they're like, we ain't gonna go out like that. We know we're not destined to win, so expectations are low for them. If you really think about it, your expectation, because it's a win-win for you. If you win, great. If you lose, it's like, well, we kind of expected you to lose. So your expectation is low, whereas you got top tier teams, their expectations are high.
Right.
They're looking to take the whole ship. And they're going to underestimate those other teams. So now you just got to play hard against them. So,
yeah.
Joe?
You see teams like Duke get COVID before the tournament, so they get disqualified from the tournament. And now what does that mean for you? That's one less big domino that needs to fall, you know?
Yeah.
That's another team that's got an opportunity, you know, instead of worrying about Duke. I don't know really what their record was. Got a girlfriend this year, guys, sorry. I don't really know if they're contenders, but, you know, if, like...
oh!
Technical difficulties.
That shit fell. Keep going.
I don't know if they were really contenders, but that's one less tyrant of a team that you got to worry about facing. You know, so that's one more underdog team that can come in and, you know, do some damage.
Yeah. You think there could ever be a perfect bracket?
Oh, that's all I was going to say. This was probably the worst year for brackets.
I fucked my bracket up.
Mine, there was one year, dude. It's always that one that messes you up. This was like everywhere.
Bowling Green really messed me
Yeah,
up.
dude.
I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But it's a strange year because there's a lot of teams there that played 12 games, played this many
Right.
games. You know what I mean? It's just strange. It's a strange year. A lot of good teams, but they're solid. A lot of good, solid teams. Like, it was fun to watch it, but it was kind of just strange, you know. Strange year for the NCAA. Man.
What's crazy is like, do you ever feel? Because I think it's Quicken Loans or Rocket Mortgage, one of those
From
that.
Michigan.
Huh?
From Michigan.
No, they offer like if you get the perfect bracket, it's like $1 billion.
Oh, Jimmy
yeah.
Buffett used to do that too.
Yeah,
Jimmy
like if you
Buffett
get the perfect bracket, it's free, but it's like that's harder than hitting the lottery. I think
Yeah, definitely.
to get the perfect bracket.
That's why time
Never
travel
will
doesn't
happen.
exist.
You don't think it'll ever happen?
No.
I think if it does and they gotta pay the bill, I don't think they're gonna pay it.
You don't think so?
I wouldn't. $1 billion?
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
$1 billion? I think $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 million perfect bracket is cool,
Yeah,
but $1 billion?
yeah. Because I don't see it ever happen. It's just too many teams, too many upsets.
Right.
Stupid.
20 factors.
Okay, so, well, we'll get into like as the March Madness narrows down. Yeah, we'll get into who we think is really gonna win that shit because right now you still got.
It's a lot of teams. In there.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking.
There's a lot of fucking teams in there, dude.
I was like, hey, what do you think?
Yeah. I'm going Villanova.
I voted for Duke, and they didn't even.
Oh, they got kicked out.
Yeah.
They're not doing too good, but COVID.
So now let's switch a little bit and let's go to the NFL. You have free agency.
There we go, Keanu Neal.
Yeah. Needed a safety. We got a hard hitter. But our boy Joe over here, he's a Steelers fan.
Yes,
I wanted to ask him about that Juju signing right there. What do you think about it? It's a 1-year deal, $8 million. What do you, number one, what do you think of Juju?
First and foremost, I think Juju's a solid number 2. I think he needs a guy that can take the top off of defense, kind of like how Antonio Brown was for so long. A lot of people give Juju a lot of crap, but Big Ben's been injured for the past couple seasons. This past season was his healthiest season. He's coming off Tommy John. Tommy John typically takes 1 to 2 years, maybe even 5, to come back from. But if they come back better than ever. I think they brought Juju back specifically because Big Ben, that was probably a condition for him. I'll take less money, but you got to bring him back. That was probably like a little secret negotiation they had. Because Big Ben took a discount. He was going to get $42 million. He's getting like $25 million now. But they spread it out for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So
Who's going to go with the Ravens, huh?
Huh?
Who's going to go with the Ravens?
I don't think he was ever going to sign with the Ravens.
He had an offer for more money.
He turned down more money from the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Ravens.
But why didn't they want to go to the Ravens? I've been saying this. They're
Run
first team. And his stats would have took even a worse tank than what he would have done. So that's why I think so.
Well, not only that, but you look at the Ravens, they had an O-lineman named Marshall Yonda retire, and they do not look the same. They had a historical run game 2 years ago. Last year, they lose Marshall Yonda, and they're nobodies.
Yeah.
So that lets you know, heck, you know this more than anybody, your O-line, you got to pay them.
Yeah.
You know, let's look at the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, missing 2 O-linemen. Couldn't even score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Last year, Steelers were missing their starting right tackle from the beginning of the season. Pouncey missed a few games when they started on their losing streak. I think you bring everyone back healthy. Not everyone, obviously, Pouncey's retired now, but you get a healthy O-line. I think they could be contenders with Juju.
Mike Hilton's going to have to be covering them next year.
With the Bengals?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about the other quarterback wanting a trade?
Well, you can get a trade, you know. When
You know
have
what
Joe,
I'm talking about?
I don't know his name by heart, but yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Steven
right?
Nelson, I think.
Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have Joe Hayden as your star quarterback, you look who's number 2 quarterback and then who's number 3. They just brought a guy back. I forget his name. But they paid a guy to come back on a 2-year deal. And now this guy's like, well, does that mean I'm going to be a slot corner? What am I going to do? Joe Hayden's not going to cover the slot.
That's Sutton.
Cam Sutton. Yeah, they brought Cam Sutton back on a 2-year deal.
I also feel like though too, Joe Hayden, speaking of Hayden, he's kind of underrated.
Wash.
He's getting old now.
He's getting old, but he's still, I think he's playing at a high level for his age.
And you got to think too, like in his heyday, who was the top corners?
Yeah.
In his heyday, when he was at his prime, who were the top corners? You had Revis Island, Sherman. You had Patrick Peterson. So
Yeah. Peterson just left too.
so he was in the conversation with all those guys
Yeah.
because they
Who'd
were
he
all
go
those
to?
years.
Peterson.
Peterson went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which is more of like a, I think that's like a veteran presence.
Right.
That's like a
Yeah.
Terrence Newman signing.
so since you're the Steelers insider overall, what you think about the departures of the Steelers and then the people coming in on board with the Steelers?
Bud Dupree's
No
gonna
Bud
hurt.
Dupree.
Bud Dupree's gonna hurt, but what a lot of people don't realize is that before they drafted T.J. Watt, everyone thought Bud Dupree was a bust. Seriously, look up Bud Dupree's stats. They thought he was a bust.
Yeah.
So it's gonna hurt not having that. You saw it when they had Alex Highsmith. I think he was a 3rd-round rookie last year. Come in and take his place. Like the sack total went down. The Steelers led the league in pressures, quarterback pressures, and sacks. As soon as Bud Dupree goes out, they dropped crazily. I think Bud Dupree does that where you have who are you gonna double team? T.J. Watt. Or you gonna double team? I'm nervous, guys. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
we
no,
not,
no,
bro.
Yeah, no,
Hey, relax. Hold on.
We
We're
still
going to
gotta
take
talk
a
about how
break.
you hate the Chiefs.
I just got a girlfriend, guys. I'm nervous. No. So who are you gonna double team? T.J. Watt or Bud Dupree?
You gotta double team TJ.
Okay, so then you have Bud Dupree single, you have Cam Hayward 1-on-1, and you have Stephon Tuitt 1-on-1. You better hope to high hell that those 3 guys can beat that 1-on-1.
Yeah.
And then what they were doing a lot last year is the Hilton. He just went to the Kansas City, Cincinnati Bengals. They'd have him blitz from the slot. So you think, okay, we have the 3 guys on the left side. We're double teaming TJ. He just blitzed the gap.
Yeah.
And then that's how they're able to get so much sacks. So that's going to be more of a hurt on the Steelers defense than I think Bud Dupree. If the guy that they have on the opposite end, who knows, they might draft a linebacker in the first round. Steelers are known for drafting linebackers in the first round. They drafted T.J. Watt when they had Bud Dupree. So they might just say, fuck it, and let's go all defense.
Yeah.
If they do that and they get a solid guy on the opposite side of that line, I think they'll be okay without Dupree.
You guys still have Minka Fitzpatrick, right, for this year?
Mm-hmm.
So is this last year, or does he have 2 years left?
I think him and TJ are up next year.
They're up next year, right?
How about that Cowboys offseason?
You guys
So what did I say that the Cowboys do? They wait. They don't sign big deals. They don't. They literally signed no splash besides the Keanu O'Neal, and that's what we needed because you let go of Cheetah Bay. You signed a Jordan Lewis, which I think is, to me, out of all those 3 corners that you had, Jordan Lewis, to me, was the better corner from Cheetah Bay and Anthony. Anthony was just a bigger guy, but Jordan Lewis makes more plays. You get a Keanu O'Neal in there.
I like Keanu O'Neal.
Yeah, a hard-hitting safety. That's
Box
what
safety.
we've been needing.
Box safety.
Yeah, we needed that.
But he needs to stay healthy.
And that's the scary thing, and that's why you see those deals from the Cowboys. They don't try and sign like long-term free agents.
Yeah, they're a class organization, guys.
No.
Great class
If
organization.
you look at all the free
I'm not
agents you
saying
guys signed last year, they cut all of them within the season.
Yeah,
What's his name got hurt, and then the rest of them got cut. He tore his quad. His D lineman.
Oh, Gerald McCoy, which
McCoy.
they're about to agree to terms
Right.
on another signing. So when you look at those that follow the Cowboys, you look at their free agency. They don't make those big splashes. They don't like to spend those big money. They sign a lot of prove it deals, and if they want to keep you, they will. Like I remember when Robert Quinn came in, and he like just lit it up. He had a lot of sacks. And you saw D-Law's production kind of go down, and the season ends, and Robert Quinn, they let him go, and I'm like, oh, yo, he was leading your team with sacks.
Right.
Little did I know, once you look it up, he was actually like the second worst against the run. The run, he could not stop the run, and that's where we were getting beat a lot of the time. Was they were running off his side, and because he would just overrun it. He was just a pure get to the quarterback kind of rusher. Now you see him go away, and have you heard Robert Quinn this last season? You didn't hear nothing from him. And also too is I didn't know. Well, you think about Randy Gregory come back.
Right.
That's gonna be a cheap deal. And Gregory has already come on and said, like, yo, my next deal, I'm going to be here. I'm going to sign here. They've waited it out with me.
Right.
They stuck it out. They worked with me. Went through all that. Brandon Gregory's...
I got something brewing here.
Go ahead. Hey, cut me up. You got the form.
Okay.
Go.
So they don't do too much in free agency. But know what you guys do? Your talent that you do have sometimes, you guys put way too much money into them. Like a Sean Lee. Players like that are injury prone that you guys should have said, hey, we're not going to give you top dollar. We're not going to give you a lot of money. We need to cut you loose because you're injury prone. That's one thing that's bad. Like, I think free agency with you guys is great, but sometimes your in-house talent, sometimes you guys need to know when to get rid of them.
But if you look at it too, like I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
agree.
You agree. Yeah.
No, I agree because like when it comes to Sean Lee though, like you look at it, it's like you sign a big deal.
Are you guys
but
still
then,
on the team?
Nah, but
That's what I said. Dude.
He's gonna end up being a coach. He ain't even gonna leave.
He's gonna end up
Like, yeah. If you notice though too, like they'll come back and they'll restructure those deals. They'll be like, hey bro, like we gotta restructure this, or you gotta work with us now.
Yeah.
You
But
know
I think
what
there's a lot. There's a few players. I don't know all the players, but there's a few players that you guys could have done that before with.
Well, and then let's skip on that and let's go Patriots.
Ooh,
Spent the
splash.
most money that they've ever had.
Overpaid for Aguilar.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that was a reach.
You know, he's with the Eagles last year. And, no, I'm just kidding. But what does this mean for the Patriots? This is something that was unprecedented by that organization, is spending that much money, especially in free agency. It seems like they were just, boom, we just got to lay it all out on the table. And they still have cap space.
Yeah.
Spent over like 100-something million. So
They have like 30 million still?
30 around there, 30 or a little less,
40 million.
give or take about 5.
That's craziness.
What do you think this means for the Patriots moving forward into this season?
So let's backtrack a little bit. The last year that Brady was with New England, what did they have? They had the league's best defense that we've seen in a while, since the Broncos defense that won the Super Bowl. What happened last year? 15 starters or so opted out.
Yeah.
You had Dante Hightower. Patrick Chung, he just retired.
Yeah.
But he opted out last season. Dante Hightower is a solid back.
No, he's go ahead. He's a scrub. Go ahead.
Damn! All right, hey,
Oh,
now be nervous.
Who Raiders got better than Dante Hightower?
What's that?
Who the Raiders got better than Dante Hightower?
So why does it have to be the Raiders?
Well, I'm saying, why is he a scrub?
Because he's a one-dimensional player. He can't cover.
Hey, that's fine. He does what Bill Belichick needs him to do. Does he not? Okay.
He's one-dimensional. You put him out there with a receiver or running back, he gets roasted all the time.
Hey, maybe all he's there for is when they have a certain look, he just blitzes the quarterback. That's all he needs.
Well, he's just like the Steelers. They're just there to drop passes.
Oh!
Sure. Steelers led the league in drops last year. It happens. But I'm just saying, Dante Hightower is a leader in the locker room. A lot of people don't understand what leadership really does for a team.
Dak Prescott? Yeah, I understand.
I understand. Prescott.
That's our Dak Prescott reference.
Okay.
So they're getting a lot of their stud players back.
Yeah.
So what
I'm
happened?
waiting for you to say a stud. I'm waiting for you to say a stud.
Dante Hightower.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. Continue.
All right, so they're getting, okay, not stud players, excuse me. They're getting a lot of their quality players that fulfill the jobs that Bill Belichick wants them to fulfill.
Good role players.
Good role players.
Hey, I'll accept he's a role player.
Sure, okay. So they're getting all these guys back, right? They're bringing in the 2 tight end offense. They had one of the best running games last season. So now with the 2 tight end offense and Cam Newton at quarterback, what do you think they're going to do? They're not going to be throwing the ball very deep often. That's where Nelson Aguilar comes in. They probably don't need him to catch anything. They don't want him to catch anything. That corner right there, tire him out. Just run 100-yard sprints all game. Go ahead.
How do we feel about Cam Newton?
Terrible.
Not a big fan, right?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. All right, cool.
I don't need him to complete 80-yard bombs, though, like Mahomes. I need him to complete 10 to 15 yards, 5 to 15 yards.
You love Mahomes.
I really don't.
He had a hot take earlier when you weren't here.
Yeah.
And
He
I
hates
like
the
it.
Chiefs.
Huh?
He hates the Chiefs.
No, but I actually agree with his hot take.
Well, let's finish the Patriots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I just said.
Ooh, now we're going with the
Yeah.
show.
Let's
Hey,
hear
you got the forum.
Yeah,
Let's hear the take. Let's hear the take after
I started that line and
I just
think
got
it
a
was.
girlfriend now, so I'm a little nervous. No, so I think with all this included, I think the Patriots are going to be a lot better than an 8-8 team
Oh,
than
yeah.
they were last season. I think they're going to be competitive. I think they're going to have a solid defense next year. It's not going to be a team like when the Broncos went to the Super Bowl and they bought all their players. They're going to have a solid defense coming back from 2018. 2019 was solid defense coming back from 2019.
Right.
So what do we know about solid defenses?
They win championships.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So here comes my hot take. How many of the teams that the Chiefs played last year played against solid defenses?
So how many solid defenses did the Chiefs play last year?
Is that what you're saying?
Tampa won.
Okay.
Tampa and then
They played them twice. Put
Yeah.
that there twice. Saints.
Saints defense was kind of shaky
Yeah,
last year. It was on and off.
It was
So
on
my
and
thing
off.
with that game right there, Drew Brees is coming off an injury. He rushed back from an injury. He's already old. He's getting retired. He retired this season. And they're missing their best wide receiver,
The Mr. Slant?
Mr.
Michael
Slant?
Thomas.
Slant man?
Slant
Yeah,
man?
the
So
Slant
the Chiefs lost the Buccaneers because they're missing 2 O-linemen.
Yeah.
Right.
So let me
Mr.
ask
Slant.
So let me ask you, is that game more competitive if Drew Brees is not injured and they have Michael Thomas?
They played the Bills too.
Oh,
They played the Bills.
Yeah.
The thing with the Bills is they moved their entire schedule around to help the Chiefs out. Kind of screwed the Bills a week later, but that was a good game.
Which I agree with. But then they played them again.
When the Bills? When they played the Bills again?
Did they play them in the playoffs?
No, they played the Browns. and
they
then
played the Browns.
They did play the Bills in the
Yeah, they played the
AFC
Bills.
Championship.
They played the Bills.
Oh, that's when they
Once
dropped
the Steelers
ball.
lost, I kind of just
But the Bills AFC championship, I don't think. I mean,
But do the Bills have a solid defense?
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
See, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they have a few good players on defense, and then that's really what they got.
What about the Ravens?
Ravens have a solid defense, but when you know, hey, the Ravens have only come back from a 10-point deficit once in Lamar Jackson's career.
But we're just talking about their defensive unit.
Sure, they got a good defense.
So, but anyways, continue with your take.
So that's four teams.
Yeah.
5 games.
Yeah.
You count the Buccaneers twice, maybe 6 if you count the Bills multiple times. Okay. So how many of those defenses would you rank 1 or 2? Probably none of them. Right?
What, Tampa? Tampa?
Sure.
I'd rank them up there.
Okay. So they lost to Tampa in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
What happened the week when they played Tampa? They had their 2 linemen available. They had 0 injuries that week, 0 notable injuries. What was Tampa Bay missing? Their best defensive player in Vita Vea.
Yeah.
That's not their best defensive player.
Nah, you got to go Devin.
I don't know. You look at that Super Bowl, Vita, or the whole
But
playoff run.
He makes an impact as far as the run,
But the way
stopping the
they
run.
schemed against
But
them,
he's not their best defensive player.
but the way they
I don't
schemed
know.
against him was just better in the second half. That's how they tried to
Okay,
catch
let me
him out.
rephrase that. Vita Vea is one of their best defensive players.
He is.
Okay, yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even say that's their best defensive lineman.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well, you still had
Shaq
Sue.
Barrett,
You still had Sue.
Shaq Barrett,
Sue's getting old.
JPP,
He's missing 3 fingers.
don't matter.
Hey, where's the club sometimes?
Yeah. I don't know.
But I think
Anyways, your
I
point
think what
is-
he's saying. I think what he's saying is
is the
Vita Vea opens up the door for those guys to produce.
right? Same
Also,
thing with
too.
the Bud Dupree and TJ Watt argument. Who are you going to double on that line?
Oh.
No, I know. He's a big factor because when he came back for the playoffs, he's a big factor. Like as far as like other players, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as saying he's the best individual player on the
Well,
team.
just let him
But
rephrase
continue,
You're right.
but continue with your
That's
take.
why I wanted to rephrase that. He's one of the best players.
Yeah.
Okay, so the one amazing defense they played against, they lost. The first time they played them, they beat them by 3. Sure, it was a blowout, and then they kind of like stopped playing.
Yeah.
I don't think teams stop playing.
Right.
You know,
No, I know.
you play 4 quarters, and I mean, if you're up by 50, put your backups in. And
I mean,
let your
unless
backups
you're the
play.
Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, they were still. You
Yeah,
gotta play
yeah.
because this is a conversation that we had many months ago, where these players, you can't ask, and especially in the NFL, you can't ask these players to tank.
Right.
It's undoable. They're gonna still try and win the game because they don't know if they're gonna be getting paid the following year.
Yeah.
They're
they have to
fighting
put-
for their money.
They're fighting for their film.
They
want film to
they
put
still
up-
got to put out the good film because
They may not play with the Jets next year, but they want their money.
Yeah,
They
because-
want their stats.
How are you gonna go into another team and say, well, it's because they asked us to tank? Well, hey, bro, so like you're
cool
just
with
gonna you're cool with that? Like
No.
that shows more about you than the team. You know what I mean?
I
Like
agree.
they're not gonna do that. So
The
but-
point of what I was saying though is I think last year the Chiefs were a little overhyped. I'm not gonna say they weren't the best team. I'm gonna say that they were a little overhyped.
Ooh.
Because
How about y'all just do a show?
Yeah. Okay, so the hot take here. This is two of them.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
there's-
what do y'all react to that? What do y'all think about
Okay,
that? Are they
okay.
overhyped?
I
We got 4 mouths in this room.
let me just add one last thing. Okay.
Talk to me, I'll talk about it.
yeah.
So last season, all anyone was talking about is how the Steelers were overhyped, right? Oh, they're not 11-0 team. They're not that great of a team. How many teams did they beat? You know.
Yeah.
I ask you again, who did the Chiefs beat? We just listed them off. They played 4 playoff teams last season. How many playoff teams did the Steelers play against? How many games were against a playoff team, playoff caliber team?
But then they lost most of those.
Yeah.
Those
No, they
games.
didn't.
Yeah.
They swept the Ravens. They blew out the Browns.
Yeah, I wouldn't count the Ravens though. You can't
Why?
count the Ravens.
Why?
Because Lamar Jackson's that's not a play.
I-
That's not a playoff
Okay,
team.
so you're right.
That's not
So
a
the
playoff
Chiefs
team.
played against 3 playoff teams last season.
Yeah.
Don't count the Ravens.
yeah.
So the Chiefs played against 3 playoff teams.
yeah.
So that means out of the 16 games, 13 of them were not playoff teams.
Okay, so if you're back to my thing, would you say they're overhyped? They're not overhyped. They're really, really good, actually. And watching them, they're really, really good. Throughout the season, I think people started figuring them out. And actually, to this guy's, he figured out a lot about them to the point where it was like he knew
Right.
a lot. I think Tampa playing them in the Super Bowl gave them the edge because they said, this is what worked for us in the second half. This is what we're going to continuously do. And they did that and they rocked them. And it was a sad showing, but I don't think they're overhyped. But I think you can figure teams out. That's
And
true.
Go ahead.
my thing is you can't. I don't think you can overhype the defending champions. They won the Super Bowl. They did it, right? I will say this though, and I might steal it from you because we were talking about this earlier.
I got a girlfriend.
I'm a little nervous. I got
You guys are
to
lame.
And 2 kids.
You guys are lame.
No, but I think Mahomes to me is getting too much hype. Like to me, Mahomes is from a skill and a talent standpoint, I like him. But if you break down like the IQ and I'm going back to character on this one, you know what I'm saying? I'm going back to character. To me, like the Mahomes pick was overhyped. To me, it's like you put Mahomes, they're making it seem like if you can put Mahomes on any team, they're a contender.
Right.
And that to me is just not the case. Because he had the luxury. Andy Reid, look, he had bad time management, game management issues. Once he got over that hump and winning that Super Bowl, there's gonna be things that he's gonna make mistakes on, but we cannot argue that he's not a good game planner.
Schemer.
Yeah, great schemer.
He's
Great.
at
I
very
mean,
least one of the best
yeah.
play callers in the NFL.
exactly. How do you scheme your star players to get wide open?
Right.
And that's what helps Mahomes though too, because Mahomes has been on record and saying like, "Hey man, I have trouble with cover 2 defenses. Like I don't read defenses pretty well." You know what I mean? And he's been saying that. So to me, it's like, why are we gonna label? And this goes into a big thing. It's like we put the GOAT status on people like way too fucking early.
Right.
Like
Completely agree.
That's
Like-
a new thing, though.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
that's like a
That's
new
a
era
24-hour
age thing.
news cycle, 2 hours.
We did not label Jordan the GOAT
Yeah.
until like after he played. Like, yo, you know what? He was the
Yeah.
GOAT. Even Brady now, like we didn't start calling him the GOAT until
Till
maybe it's like
after
won
his
his
fifth
fifth.
ring,
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like,
it
oh,
was
he's-
always comparing him to Joe Montana. Is he better than Joe? And all
yeah,
that.
is he better than Joe? He's doing this. But now it's like Mahomes, don't get me wrong, he's electrifying. It's not like I wouldn't want him to be my
Right.
quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dak, you know. But you my QB1, bro.
Everyone
But
but Dak. You know,
no, yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is like I think he gets too much credit
Right.
for what everybody else does for him too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They're making it seem like he makes everyone better. No, I think they just complement each other and they have a
Everyone.
good team. But I do agree where the Chiefs, I don't think we're overhyped in a sense of they just won the Super Bowl the year prior.
Sure.
So and
You're
they
saying
were still
Mahomes overall.
yeah, because you can't guarantee wins in that league.
No.
They still got to go out there and win the game. Like that's kind
The
of
Super Bowl they should have lost.
the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what. But what I'm saying is like, what we were talking about last week. Mahomes doesn't play well in the Super Bowl. He hasn't. But everybody else makes those excuses for him.
Yeah.
Oh well, you didn't have this, and they didn't have this, and they had injuries, and they give him the pass. But you put any other quarterback. What were we talking about when the Bills shit the bed in the AFC Championship?
Right.
Oh, Josh Allen. It's like, well, yeah, because we saw Josh Allen take that dip. But Mahomes kind of put on the same performance in the Super Bowl, and we're like, well, he had no O-line, he had no time to throw, Tyreek Hill didn't get open, and all this stuff. Credit the Bucs defense and all this stuff.
Yeah.
No, Mahomes played like shit.
Well,
He did. He had amazing, electrifying throws. He had good highlights.
He always like this dude always says. He's always looking for the deep ball.
right.
Always.
Always looking for.
That's my issue with Mahomes. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's the thing about Mahomes, because me and you always
You guys
go,
should see the text messages.
Yeah, we
text
always
them-
go at it.
I'll text them a hot
he's
take.
he's anti-Chief, well, anti-Mahomes.
Yeah.
But I'm really I'm cutting it down the middle. Okay, so Mahomes and Andy Reid, Kelsey and Tyreek Hill is a perfect marriage.
Yes.
It's like pieces that fit
Mesh.
together. Like if you were to put,
It's the bread, the peanut butter, and the jelly.
yeah,
All
like
in one.
so what it is if you are the defending champion, you can talk all that shit. You can
Sure.
be cocky. You can be whatever you want to be. The thing about the Chiefs is it's not their fault up until the Super Bowl. No one hits them in their mouth. And we only saw that twice where we saw Mahomes kind of I've seen it 3 times where he's like, yo, is Mahomes rattled? That was in last year's Super Bowl against the Niners. And then in the Raiders in the third quarter when they went up like 2.5 scores, and it's like I don't know what to do. And in the Super Bowl.
Good defense.
Yeah. So Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is a perfect marriage. I don't see why you could hate on him or them. Yes, he has all the weapons, but you claim to say that the Steelers are going to whoop their ass this year.
I think if the Steelers,
I would like to see it, but we'll
if the
see.
Steelers with Bud Dupree, Devin Bush both got injured, and all if both teams played at full health, I think the Steelers would have shut them to no touchdowns. And you can't say, "Oh, that's unheard of."
That ain't hot take.
Yeah.
That's like I don't even want it.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah, but you keep on talking about health. Things happen,
Sure.
and especially in the NFL. So like,
In a perfect world.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
yeah,
So I don't want to hear no Chiefs fans saying, "We're missing our tackle." Hey, buddy, half the teams you guys played were injured.
Yeah.
You guys had up to 0 significant injuries all season until the final game. I don't know what you want from me.
sucks to be you, bro.
Yeah.
Trying to win two Super Bowls back to back. That's what happens.
I mean, I'm glad we got an anti-Patrick Mahomes and anti-Chiefs in here.
My thing is, I'm just not going to crown him. I'm not going to give him all this
That's my
credit
thing.
until we see him without Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill.
So he's not the best quarterback in the league?
In terms of what?
Just if you put a pool of quarterbacks and you got the choice to build your franchise around, who are you picking out of that?
What are the factors? 'Cause I'll pick Aaron Rodgers all day, every day.
Okay, so you put Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
I would put Aaron Rodgers above him. Aaron Rodgers has been doing it with less talent, and he's always in the playoffs.
If Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes switched place, they would have won 3 Super Bowls. Right?
I think they would have been undefeated and won a Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, Mahomes has like 4 things that he does. Every other play, you'll see this most often. Mahomes will hike the ball and he'll run 15 yards backwards, and then he'll throw it as hard as he possibly can to whoever's downfield, make a play. Or he'll run to the right, like you called, and then it's funny because he said, "Oh, watch them do this," and they effing did it against the Browns.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. how does someone on fucking YouTube could see it? It's because it's familiarity. That's what helped the Bucks. That's what helps the division. That's why I've always been saying it. The team that's going to take down the fucking Chiefs is going to be someone within the division. Mark my words. They will not reign fucking terror like the Patriots.
Yeah.
And
someone
their
within that
division's
division.
getting better too.
Huh?
Raiders are kind of going down, but that division's getting better.
Yeah.
Chargers.
Someone.
I think Chargers will be good next year. But
How about that too, man? How does Justin Herbert come off the bench and he outshines Mahomes? When the first game that they played him,
Oh,
season.
the puncher.
Oh, yeah.
the puncher lunch Tyrod Taylor. Justin Herbert comes off the bench, doesn't even know he's going to start until like 5 minutes before the game. They're like, hey, you're going to start.
Because he's that dude.
He goes into the huddle,
Yeah.
and the people in the huddle are like, what are you doing here? And then he had better stats than, or I don't know, maybe not, but he looked better than Mahomes did that game.
well, and the thing is like right now it's that early conversation of the Brady and Belichick. Is it Andy Reid? Is it Patrick Mahomes?
It is.
This is what it is, and that's why everybody's having that whole GOAT talk right away. You can't name a young GOAT.
No.
We gotta, when we're putting the GOAT status or the label on someone's status, I think you gotta wait till they're done with that career of playing football or that sport.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this right now. Same question I posed to him. Who's the best quarterback in the league right now?
Dak Prescott.
Who would you take?
I'm just playing.
I would take Patrick Mahomes.
I think
Right now. I like Aaron
Trevor
Rodgers.
Lawrence.
No, I like Aaron Rodgers, but I feel like age. If you're asking right now, I
Yeah.
like Aaron Rodgers. I do, but the age kind of just.
That's right.
Right, that's why I asked, like,
Yeah.
what are the factors? 'Cause
Yeah.
if we get both of them in their
Because if you
prime,
go prime, if you go
Aaron
prime, I'm
Rodgers,
going
no
Aaron
question
Rodgers.
asked.
Well, yeah, Aaron Rodgers. Obviously,
Yeah, but if you're
stat.
asking now you got to pick up the pool from the young QBs. And if I'm going strictly off like skill and talent, I'm going Mahomes. If I'm going off like, there's just so many ways I could break it down. But I'm not a hater of Mahomes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my hair? Is it my hair?
I think for me, until you see Mahomes without these guys, we won't know for sure. I mean, 10 years down the road, if he's still doing it and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce aren't there, hey man, you're up there. My bad, I was wrong. But until I see him without some of these dudes, without some of these weapons, I'd like to know, hey,
That's the thing.
But see, to me, to the Chiefs is
I like Patty Mahomes. Though.
it's
I would
not
pick him.
Mahomes. You need to fucking stop. It's Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. You need to make them feel you. You need to punk them. Because what's Patrick Mahomes gonna do?
so let me ask you. Rodgers doesn't have a Tyreek Hill or a Travis Kelce.
But he has Devontae
Yeah.
Adams and he has a running
Well,
game.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
Before he had Devontae Adams, before he had Jamal
He
Adams.
barely got that running game though.
Yeah, that running game is fresh. That's new. The running game is in the past 2 years, but he's in the playoffs
Don't
every
forget
year.
about Eddie Lacy, bro.
Eddie Lacy made his way out of the NFL. Eddie Lacy weighed more than me, bro. I'm
I'm
pushing 3
just
bills.
fucking with you guys, bro.
No, he was good at one point.
He was good at
good.
one point,
At one
but
point.
he did get fat though. Poor
I'm just
guy.
saying, like,
When I was still in high school.
let me see what Mahomes looked like when he doesn't have one of the best wide receivers in the NFL with 1 or 1A tight end in the NFL. You look at the side characters. Sammy Watkins was a first-round pick at one point in time.
He's trash.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
he's
Chiefs,
good.
the Chiefs are top heavy. You need to decapitate Hill and Kelsey.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody else.
That's what I'm saying, though, is if he was really that dude, those nobody else guys would be decent.
He's saying right now.
And that's where Andy Reid comes in. He
Yeah.
fucking he
He
gets
schemes
those. You notice, Patrick Mahomes will make the play, and the dude is wide open. That's a lot of Andy Reid
Yes.
as well.
I
That's
will-
why it's a perfect marriage. But Patrick Mahomes does make some throws.
I will
He
give
fucking
Mahomes credit.
if you notice, he drops back like
Oh, dude, he
deeper
runs.
than any fucking
Dude,
quarterback because he
deep.
has the arm.
Yeah.
He has the arm.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is like when you have a fast defense that can stop those two guys, what's Mahomes going to do? Is he going to make the rest of the team better? And that's why you look at a guy like Brady. Greg Hogan was on the team the last time that the Patriots won the Super Bowl. What's Greg Hogan doing now? He's playing the cross. You know
Chris Hogan?
Chris Hogan.
Chris Hogan.
Yeah.
What about Danny Amendola? When was the last good season he had with the Detroit Lions?
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
Well, even
Welker-
after he left the Patriots and
Went
went
to-
to the Broncos, he was
Peyton
on the
Manning.
show in that Super Bowl.
Welker went to the Broncos, and who was throwing him the ball?
Peyton
Peyton
Manning.
Manning.
So what's your point?
I'm just saying Brady makes a lot of the lesser good players a lot better than what they are. It's a leadership thing. Hey, I want you to run this route exactly like this. The ball will hit you right here. Where Mahomes, if he doesn't have Hill and Kelsey and he starts doing that, hey man, I'll take back everything I said. I'll walk it back.
Who did Brady make great the year they went to the?
Don't pack McAfee it.
Who did Brady make great the year they lost to the Titans in the?
Hey, that's the thing about Brady though, is that at that point in time, I give Belichick the credit for the first 2 Super Bowls. Because that was a defense. That's what a lot of people like. When I hate when people say this, he's just a game manager. Hey bro, Big Ben, game manager the first Super Bowl.
Okay, so
Brady, game manager for the first Super Bowl.
Dak Prescott, first year game manager.
I'll tell you something right now. If Big Ben would maintain himself and treat himself good on the offseason, then you guys would be a lot more successful too.
Did you guys hear about that situation that he was in? He was in
Give
like
it to a Steelers insider.
He was in like a Zoom meeting with like his pastor.
Who? Wait, who?
Big Ben. He was in a Zoom meeting with like his pastor, and he was talking about how he was like addicted to wanking off, and that was affecting his home life and all that kind of stuff. And once he stopped doing that, focused on working out, you saw like Big Ben was starting to get fat. Towards he had Tommy John, and then he comes back and he's starting to look a lot better. I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
But dude,
What, jacking off? I'm addicted too, though. Like, I cannot go a day without jacking off.
Do you go like 3 or 4 times a day?
Oh, dude, I got up to like 6, like,
Well,
on a daily.
you're playing yourself short because maybe you could be a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, nah, bro, those are rookie numbers, bro. Like,
conversation goes.
I'm just saying.
bro, literally,
So,
when I first found
that's
out,
what I'm saying. Like a
he
lot
was
of his off the
consumed.
field. Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
a lot of his off the field issues are he doesn't take care of his body. He drinks a lot still, and that's what they're saying. That like
He goes to the bars.
I got to a
with
point
Yeah.
where I was jacking off to a
Locking in the
silhouette of a
bathroom.
cloud that looked like an
Well,
ass.
that's the thing is, so this is a different topic right there. Like, what do you guys think of Deshaun Watson?
I'm not a big fan of him.
no, but the new allegations. About
Oh, what? Okay, this is new.
So let me break
You
it
haven't
down.
heard about it?
No, I was playing softball and I was
No,
like
this is
last week.
before softball. This is like
No, I know,
This has
but
been
this
going on
is
the past 2 weeks.
This
or
was
so.
my.
I know,
tip
but I've been
and-
I've been coaching. I've been like Andy reading it. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Alright.
just consumed
Calm
right there.
place.
But talk to me. I'll talk back.
So let me give you some background info right now. Deshaun Watson tells the Texans, I hate this organization. I don't want to play here no more. Trade me. They said, we're not trading you. He said, all right, well, I'm going to sit out. All right, well, we're going to find you money. I've made millions of dollars. Find me, he says.
Yeah.
All right, we're not going to trade. You're not going to budge? Okay. Suddenly, allegations start coming out from like different masseuses about how he was making all of them uncomfortable. How much is there right now? How much is there right now?
What?
But allegations. There was at least 13.
There's, last time I
three.
checked, there was 3.
There's
I
three
don't-
that are written. They're saying 6 to 9.
I don't
There's
know.
10. And the lawyer for he's representing all the different girls. He said there's going to be 10 more within the next week. So let me ask you guys. Yeah, like he's getting a massage.
No, I know, but why?
They said he would get a massage and then he would start
Bro,
either groping or do certain things.
One of the
He
girls
like-
said he took his pants off and I was uncomfortable.
but like you have to in the massage.
Or one girl told him.
So-
One girl said he said go into my groin because no, dude.
Okay, let's not start acting like fucking TMZ guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like it's just dumb.
Let's
I think
read
it's
in between
dumb.
the
The
lines.
point I'm getting at is, do you guys think this is potentially the organization leaking this information so that they say, all right, who's going to want you? No one's going to trade for you if you're getting all these allegations. Go ahead.
Or the other way around. His camp to get his ass out of there
They're gonna
and
say,
watch
"We don't want this guy."
and watch them just drop those allegations. Just drop.
That's what
Just
I was thinking.
Think about with AB, man. There was like 3 girls that came out that said that AB, Antonio Brown, was being like that with them. One of the girls said that he paid her to paint a naked portrait, and he walked up and flopped his Johnson on top of her shoulder or something like that. So where did those allegations go? It's been 2 years.
That's your boy.
That is my boy.
Him and Martavis
So-
Bryant.
So that's why I said it's kind of fishy the way this
Wow.
happened. So I was looking at it like, did he leak this out to try to get out? That's what the first thing that went through my
Another
head.
background information
Yeah.
to know.
It wasn't. It was like me thinking he's trying to get out of there still, so he's pushing. I didn't because you're an organization. If they do it, nobody wants you, but then your trade value goes.
But then again, that's a little too much because I was thinking about it. If I'm in his shoes, if the Texans are gonna play hardball, and like you're either sitting out or we're we're not trading you. What's the worst thing you can do for you to get dropped by a team? Something like that.
Something
Sexual
either-
allegations.
Something like
Sexual
that.
or abuse.
Yeah, something like
Or domestic violence.
Something. Yeah.
But see, those allegations though, like if he leaks it out, that's why would you do that as yourself and saying like, well, this is just for me to get released when you have
Some of them are real flimsy though, man.
Yeah.
no, but what I'm saying is like look, I might not be a big fan of Deshaun Watson, but from what I've seen of him as like the character of him, bro, he does a lot of stuff for the community and kids and stuff like that. Why would you want to put that out there?
Besmirch your name.
Yeah, to smirk your name, and then now you're losing the credibility of being that guy just to get out of under a contract. Like if you were that mad, this is only 1 year in. You could have just gotten tagged, not signed a deal, gotten tagged, played 1 year, and if it wasn't the year you wanted, say, hey, look, I'm a free agent. Like that's how easy this had to be.
Well, I think the thing is too is so we look at the James Harden situation, how they gave him everything he wanted and he still wanted out. I think with Deshaun, when he signed his deal, they said, we'll give you what you want. We'll let you have input on coaching, hiring. We'll let you have all this stuff. This is not facts, so it's kind of like rumored.
Right.
And then imagine, okay, you're going to help pick out a coach. I want Eric Bieniemy, and then they hire someone else. And they didn't even interview Eric Bieniemy until people were like, well, hey guys, like he's the best coaching candidate on the market right now. Don't you think you should hire him? And
and see, that's the thing. We can't get into like the behind, because we don't know if they had that agreement of like, hey, if I sign this contract, I get some say, and they were like, we can't speculate on that. We don't know what went behind those closed doors. So from that standpoint, as it looks like right now, he just signs the contract to be the quarterback, not to have a say in what the organization is going to do. I mean, at the end of the day,
well, if you reported that's what was
right. But if you're going to get a promotion to be a foreman, this is going to be like your thing. Boom, boom, boom. These are your tasks and your to-do list, and we're going to pay you for that. But then you come back after 3 months and be like, hey man, I want to hire this guy, hire that guy. Whoa. Why are you hiring people right now? Like,
but
no,
can we even, this is my point, and this is what goes back to all this. When did the quarterback position come to that point where you going to make the calls?
Tom Brady.
No. Tom Brady grandfathered in Belichick. Patrick Mahomes has, what's his name?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at Peyton Manning with
Tony Dungy.
The Broncos, look at that. The Broncos brought in their old, what is his name? He used to be the Texans head coach.
He
was a backup quarterback.
For Elway?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Kubiak.
Gary Kubiak.
So you have these guys that are just getting their coaches and they're making them better. Why does this guy, now he gets the input on who he thinks should be a GM, who he thinks should be the coach? When did that start? In the NBA, I can understand because you only have 5 guys and maybe they have a system that you might want to run.
NFL.
In the NFL, you have an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, a quarterback coach. Maybe you want a good quarterback coach. Maybe you want a good offensive coordinator. Why does it come down to you wanting an opinion on? Now we get an opinion on the GM, the coach, everything like that.
Because now you're asking for more pressure on yourself, though, too, right?
Yeah.
Because if you pick the guys, now the organization can come in and say, hey, this is what Deshaun wanted. A year from now, if this is what Deshaun wanted, and they go 1-15, hey, this is what Deshaun wanted. And what is Deshaun going to be? Oh, are you going to backtrack? Are you going to stand by who you picked?
Yep.
I think his issue with that was, hey, can we interview this guy? And they didn't even bother to interview him until they were...
Well, is it, dude, you play football. You have nothing to say what goes on in the business type.
Sure.
And that's where I think, where he's saying, a lot of people are saying that he just says, I was interested, I wanted some input. You don't get an input, bro. You get paid to play football. You don't get paid to make decisions.
Where this trend started, though, was with Brady in Tampa, where he tells...
but that was just recent.
Yeah, but that was just...
Yeah.
This is just recent, too, because he didn't feel this way before he signed the contract.
No, but he signed last year.
He signed the contract, and then he sees teams
and Bill
like,
O'Brien,
What do you think, that Bill O'Brien was going to be there forever? He knew he was going to get fired then, right? Because
Probably.
you wanted to sign a play for him, obviously. I don't know. It just seems you're asking for too much power, and you're 20-some years old, bro. What do you think is going to happen with all this?
Well, and then Brady with the whole Tampa, Brady's proven. He's proven his worth.
Yeah.
He's proven his IQ.
That's
He's
the thing,
proven.
though, is that if you, let's say Dak Prescott goes to Jerry Jones and says, hey, we need help at safety. Can you sign Earl Thomas? And then they sign someone else. How do you think that would make him feel? Probably good, because he said we need help at safety. I can't keep bringing us back from 40-point deficits.
Yeah.
We need some help on the defense.
Yeah.
And they address the defense? Cool.
I think they have an input as far as like, okay, you know, what would help benefit that player, right?
Sure.
But Deshaun was coming from like coaching and GMs and all this stuff. Like now you're trying to change organizational positions when we're just asking you on player positions.
Yeah.
What do you think we should do?
Yeah,
We're
you're
kind of
right.
leaning on you. And that's what I'm saying is you're treading a thin line right there as being a QB, and you want to start making organizational requirements and demands, because now if it doesn't work out, are you going to be willing to stand up there and say, hey, this was on me because I picked that guy, and they listened to me? Because now the organization is not going to, what are they going to be like looking like if they come out and say, hey, this is what Deshaun wanted.
Sure.
We gave what Deshaun wanted. And if Deshaun's like, that's not what hey, you guys are the, it can go one of two ways where he's like, oh, you guys are, this is your organization. I'm just a QB.
Right.
I'm just a QB. Now you're treading a thin line, because now if you get traded and go to another team, as me and as an owner, I'm like, now I gotta ask you, what do you think about my staff now?
Yeah, now what's the next thing? Now you want to pick who your freaking the ball boy is now?
Yeah.
When
Come on, bro.
yeah.
Win me a Super Bowl first,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we can fucking talk.
Yeah.
Well,
Give
I
me,
mean,
rub
What
me
if
off.
they say that's the recipe?
Give me a nice stroke before you fucking.
You want me to big bet this shit?
Give me a nice stroke before you freaking just tell me what to do. You know what I
I think the thing is you see older guys like Rodgers. He didn't find out that Jordan Nelson was traded until Jordan Nelson told him, hey man, I think I just got traded. You know, Aaron Rodgers was very upset about that. That's a quote from the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
Where he says, like, hey man, I think we should have more input on these kind of decisions. We play with these players. We should have
Players, though.
Sure.
Players.
Sure. And what if we're just talking players here? Deshaun didn't have no input on the trade for Hopkins when they traded Hopkins away. They traded his best player away for a running back that was good 1 year.
And that was because of Bill O'Brien, though.
Right.
And that's my thing is,
And what if
you
they-
signed when Bill O'Brien was still the coach and the GM, so you knew what it was signing that contract. I think he was just blinded by the money at that point, and then he realized, you know what, I'm not really happy here. What do we always say? Money doesn't buy happiness.
Right.
Well,
It just
DeAndre
buys-
Hopkins wanted a new deal at that point.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the Texans weren't willing to give it to him, so they just traded him.
So they just traded him, right? And that was still with Bill O'Brien.
Right.
Just now, you can't buy something and then a year later and be like, you know what, I'm not really happy with this. And you can't buy a brand new car right now, and just because you don't like it after a year, you can just return it. You gotta either trade it in or take a loss on the principle of it.
Let me just say, I don't think that he should have input on all these things. Like you guys said, win a Super Bowl first.
Yeah.
Rodgers, give him input. That's the thing is, Rodgers is probably walking up. That's speculation. Not even gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
What we're saying is that you see Brady, he has input. Bring me Gronk. Bring me AB. Win a Super Bowl.
But that dude, that's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Sure. Hey, but how many times did he do that in New England where he said, hey, you know, this Edelman guy, he's a 6th-round pick. Keep him on the offense. Don't cut him. Peyton Manning was doing that, and you hear Pat McAfee talk about it on that show all the time as well. Peyton Manning would see a guy run out there and catch the ball with his body. Don't ever get on this field again.
Yeah, but then it goes back to what Smurf was saying. Brady and Belichick, that was just like that perfect marriage. Because not only did they get to keep those certain guys, but also Belichick got a win out of it too, because it was cheaper too to keep the guys that you wanted, and we're still winning.
Hey, take a
Okay,
cut,
bro.
Well,
And that was kind of
take a
my hot
cut.
take. Like, I feel like Brady kind of screwed over a lot of players, man. Like, because he took that pay cut, right? And it allowed Belichick as the GM to say, hey, well, Brady's taking the pay cut. You should do it too. And a lot of those players did take a pay cut. Look, you got a Super Bowl. That's cool. Some did, some didn't. You know, they didn't always win. But those players, they took a pay cut, and some of them, they took less money than what they were really worth. But they didn't get the exposure. They didn't get the endorsements like a Brady was doing.
Right.
They didn't get that extra money. You look at it, and I feel like just Brady, in a sense, in the long scheme of things, a lot of these players were like, well, I guess this is what it took, but I'm not really happy about it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, I lost out on $15 million.
Got two rings.
Yeah, you got the ring, but that's all you got.
Damn, Raylo got no ring.
He ain't got no ring. So,
I mean, he bought a Cadillac and Bad Boys 2.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But damn, man, that was a crazy conversation. That was a good one. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm real nervous. I just got a girlfriend.
He's I just got the girlfriend type.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Let's
can
do
move.
move. You know what I'm saying? Say
Say
what's up to the family. He made an appearance. You know what I'm saying?
Injured.
Injured. Hey,
He's
but,
on
hey,
IR.
you could do a show. You could do a show hurt.
We got Joe off the practice squad.
We called him up.
Hopefully I
Yeah.
didn't sink the show.
Yeah. Nah.
Never hear from me
It
again.
was good. It was good.
Yeah,
That was a good show. I had fun. We'll let the people decide. Maybe you come back next week. Maybe you don't. But thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining us for another week and another episode of the TSR Show. For my boy Smurf and my boy Joe.
We out.
We out of here. We'll see y'all next week. And just a quick reminder, we're shooting the Taco Chronicles episode 3 next weekend. So be on the lookout for that one. Peace.
Oh, right.